and her pale fire. Wow, what a great username. And her pale fire. Can you be a good PM and dislike the product you manage? So they talk about most of their jobs have been working very stressful, long hours, but in things that they are deeply passionate about. A lot of nonprofit work, it sounds like. And so then they go on to say they're getting a little burned out, and so sensing I need a change, my husband, a software architect, suggested I pivot and apply to his company, a social media org. I reluctantly took the initial phone screen with the hiring manager and have been moved to a final round panel interview, but I can't shake the feeling that I would hate working on the product. Does anyone have experience working on a product you strongly dislike and or would never use? What do you like about the role, company, team, etc.? Can you be a good PM on a product you personally dislike? And I thought there was an interesting reply from Poodleface, again, delightful Reddit username. As a researcher, I often find it easier to support products I have no personal feelings towards. And I think that I totally agree with that. Like, I think that's my I might have been successful in this marketing and ad tech space because I'm the last person who is ever going to click on an ad or wants the email marketing thing. And so I don't have this thing. I'm not bringing a bias. I'm not a user of these things in a way that I'm passionate about. I can dispassionately look at the problem in the situation and hear all of the different competing priorities, and I'm not coming with any kind of stake in this game, and I think that might make me better at it. I don't actually know.
No, I think that's probably the way I feel about it too. And I actually wrote a lot of notes on this one. I'm generalizing always, like I'm abstracting out what the platform does from the business to like, well, that's just data entry with another module, like there's
Right.
this weird niche module that does blah that makes it finance or makes it biotech or makes it marketing. I can honestly say in 2.5 decades, maybe once or twice, I've been like, wow, this is so amazing. Like, um, and that's not a knock on the products as much it is as it is like just fundamentally to my car. I don't know why it wasn't a conscious decision. I've been drawn more to the internal frameworks and processes and operational cost, like the new tech that we could use to do something faster, better. Yeah, I can't ever say I certainly haven't worked in a sector where I've been like, this is where my heart belongs.
Right. Well, and I think one of the comments in there was about like she's not passionate about it, and I think there is that old saying, right, of like love and hate are the opposite sides of the same coin. I think I could probably work on a product I don't feel strongly about, but I definitely couldn't work on like AI or crypto or something that I actively dislike, right? So there's absolutely the other side of this is I'm not saying it's something that you can like hate. Um,
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think there's absolutely like if she's gonna go work at this social media company and it's not, I mean, Facebook is responsible, I should say allegedly or whatever to legally protect us. Like there's genocides around the world that Mark Zuckerberg hasn't stopped due to the way Facebook works, and terrible, terrible things. Social media is killing people's brains. I can understand not necessarily wanting to work on that kind of stuff. There's probably degrees in here, right? Of like, are you working on a thing that's just kind of goofy and like, yeah, the next Instagram feature now a video can play for 5 minutes. Cool, okay, that's what I'm gonna work on. Don't really care about it, but it's an interesting video streaming problem that I got to figure out. There's probably some interesting tech I get to work on. Okay. Versus it's Bitcoin. I'm gonna burn the building down. So
Yeah, there's a couple I would definitely I certainly agree with that. And again, I can abstract it all out, so probably could do any of them and be okay. But
sure.
then there's some that I wouldn't even make it to the interview because I'd be like, I just don't, because I hate the industry and this
Right.
false image of it that I built in my head. I probably don't want to talk to the types of people that do enjoy it enough to be vested in it, you
Right.
know? Like
Yep.
once I get in there, I'd be okay. But I don't want to talk to these people like who think Bitcoin is like the future, right?
Right. Exactly.
Um,
Yeah. No, thank you.
and it's okay to be the other way. A lot of people are like this. I can think of many engineers I've worked with who do not care the sector they're in. They do it
Right.
because, hey, I'm writing the first graph database or the first bitmap database or the first database that can do this. And it just so happens that we're going to use it for this because
Right.
that's the sector I'm in right now. But they don't
Right.
really care. They care about the fact that they just created a brand new database tech, right?
Right.
Now,
Exactly.
the challenge with that is that also shows up when they reach a level of seniority. that they don't understand how the sector works, or they don't understand how the platform works, and so there are further conversations about the effects of that, right? But yeah,
Yeah, you're not allowed to stay ignorant of the thing that you're working in. You do have to
yeah,
understand how your industry and your market and your clients and your users all need it to work. And so that could also be a thing, right? Like we had years and years ago, I worked at a email marketing firm, and I mean it was email marketing. We were doing some relatively good things, but you couldn't really feel too good about most of the clients were trying to figure out how to spam people without being truly terrible spam. And we had a client that the CEO, I mean, the CEO sold whatever he needed to get revenue in the door, and he sold tobacco and it was what's oh, why am I blanking on it? What's the chew, the stuff that like you stick in your lip and it kills your jaw?
yeah, I don't know what it's
um
called though.
and he sold a campaign for that, and got frustrated with me that I refused to work on the campaign. I was like, no man, I've done some stupid things to like people who don't want to buy a tractor from Granger. I sent them emails. I'm not standing here with like a white hat on, but I'm not working on the tobacco chew campaign. Sorry, no.
Dip. It's called dip, right?
Dip. There you
I
go.
love that
Exactly.
stuff. I'm not allowed to use it anymore, but
Gross. Ugh.
uh, yeah, I actually had another example too. But I lost my train of thought because I started thinking about dip.
Oh no. Gonna have to edit that out and get canceled.
Yeah. Oh, it was a good point too.
Hmm.
Bloody hell. You were talking about email marketing. Ah, it's gone. Like
Yeah. All
really
right.
gone.
It's because you're vaping too much. The clouds are getting in the way of your neurons.
No.